Instead of a hint, today I want to express my frustration at being in Italy and not knowing Japanese. The Kamen Drive crossover movie comes out on the 13th of December. I want to see it, damn it! The episode opens with a road mute attack on a food transporting truck. The culprits are the Fatso from the last episode, Crash, and his underlings, but before they can take the food and harm the driver, arrives on the scene. The battle is joined under the watchful eyes of someone. While taking care of the two unevolved road mutes is easy, it's a different story with Aniki here. Belt-san summons yet another shift car, saying that this should help with such a physically strong opponent, except Rumble Dump here goes Yaketi's axe on Shinosuke. According to Belt-san, this particular shift car is not really compatible with the Drive's body as it is, but as Benny Hill-esque as the attack was, it chases the three away, and we discovered the observer was Rina-san. Back at HQ, we discovered the reason why Drive arrived so soon on the scene. The SEU already knew about the truck's risk factor thanks to their colleagues in public security. The result garners praise to the team, much to the boss's and Shinosuke's pleasure. But the cheer is short-lived when we discover that, obviously, public security is investigating Kamen Rider Drive. Ken immediately thinks it's a fraud because, every Spider-Man needs his James on, I guess? It doesn't make sense. Also, Rina-san is for some reason closely collaborating with public security. In the next scene, we see the Fatsoroid mute Crash about to go out and hit more trucks with his buddies when Chase appears. Before he can reboot the three of them, Brain appears to stop him. He lets Crash and his underlings go, and then, with Heart's approval, asks Chase to instead protect the evolved road mute. He's not happy about that. Back in the Drive cave, that's what I'm calling it and I'm sticking to it, Shinosuke wonders why they can't just tell public security about Drive. Belt-san explains that it's not wise to trust just anyone with this secret. He then deviates to explain that Drive can exchange bodies with some shift cars. His second one, Tap Wild, is almost ready and he should be able to handle the Benny Hill car from before. Shinosuke for once can't wait to test it. Seeing his unit finally get some respect, even if that doesn't make any sense still, has him fired up. First thing first, attack with one of the most targeted companies. Fontar makes health supplements and the owner is extremely grateful and extremely emotional. He begs Shinosuke to help him. He can't afford to stop deliveries, but he treasures his employees. The detective of course promises to catch the culprits, and as they get back to the car, a slowdown happens. They hurry to the density shift epicenter only to find a road blocked by Machine Chaser, and as the two fight, we discover that Machine Chaser is also able to use the shift cars to power up, which confirms to Belt-san that Machine Chaser uses Proto-Drive systems, and to me that this guy is Proto-Drive himself. I'm fucking sure of it! Anyway, he runs after a little speech about humanity's evil. He was just trying to stall for time. Time enough for Crash to assault another truck, and this time he managed to finish the job, and as Chase looks down upon him, he resents not being able to destroy him. But Hart appeases him with a present, his own shift cars! Even worse, public security deduces. Since the other time Drive managed to arrive early when the police had previous intel, the Kamen Rider may be someone they know. And there aren't that many options to choose from, really. Rina-san leaves again, which causes Gen to lose his shit. He proposes to stake out the tracks of the two companies who were hit the most. As he and Shinosuke leave, Kiriko makes Shinosuke notice that for some reason, the Fontar's tracks are more damaged. And speaking of Fontar tracks, the one Gen was staking out was attacked. This time, Gen has to accept the monster exists, and just as he's about to be killed by his own projectile, Shinosuke arrives to save him. As the rider fights the two underlings, Crash retrieves something from a hidden compartment of the truck. As he brings it into light, Shinosuke is of course surprised, but just for a moment. He's back in gear and destroying one roid mule right after. But just as before, Chase arrives, and this time, with his own shift cars, is more dangerous than ever. In the fallout of the finishers meeting, a stray flame hits one of the vials contained into the trunk which Crash has recovered. The contained liquid starts shining and panicked, Crash throws it into the water, and it explodes. Chaser laughs at Drive's shock. The nice human he was fighting for was actually smuggling explosives under everyone's nose. Explosives which Crash loves to drink and that make him go wild, which explains why the Fontar trucks were more damaged. The revelation that he was protecting a crook dampens Shinosuke's spirits, which is bad. Tappy Wild's activation depends on his emotions. This also allows Crash to kick his ass in his rampage and then leave him in the hands of Chase and Brain, who finally appears before Drive. And as an introduction, he slips Shinosuke some extremely painful looking neurotoxin. And episode end. A very interesting episode. Good that they slowed down with the shift car introduction, good that they're making the police aware of Drive's existence. It reminds me of Kuga. Even if Yusuke never had a problem with people knowing his identity, then again, Kuga began and ended with him. There were no bad sons, with all their secrets and past dealings with the roid mules. There's also the fact that while there was only one Kuga because there was only one belt, there is already been two drives. If the technology is reproducible, I understand why Belt-san would want to keep Shinosuke a secret. And speaking of secrets, I bet you whatever you want that Chase is Proto-Drive resurrected and repurposed by the roid mules. The guy is looking more and more threatening by the day too, which makes me even more curious as to how exactly Drive and the roid mules are connected. Maybe Belt-san was a scientist and he created bot? What about the shift cars? But for now, I guess that in the next episode we're going to focus on motivation. Shinosuke likes to protect people, but do people like this guy deserve his protection? We'll see if he can get out of his slump. Not much to say about this episode, it's very well done, but I fear Gant's Carter is being needlessly stereotyped as the terribly septic guy. It can get annoying. I'd prefer if he was just the old-fashioned cop with a love for the force and too much pride. Well, that's it for today, Rider fans. What did you think about today's episode? Let me know in the comments or one of my social media accounts. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you still haven't, and share it with your friends. Gianne!